All right, good morning, everybody. We're here for the Marion County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. We're in the Senate hearing room at 555 Court Street, Northeast Salem. And as always, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a few items for public comment. I have two emails that we're going to read, and then we'll call up the individuals that we have listed on the sign-up sheet. The first email is from Mr. Greg Leo. Commissioners, I strongly support action by the Marion County Commissioners to establish a traffic safety corridor on the Mckay, Jurgen, Elin alignment from I-5 to Highway 219. There have been many deadly accidents on this highway caused by speed, poor sight lines, and inattention at intersections. This action by the Commissioners will make this dangerous stretch of road safer. Please vote yes on the Elin Road Traffic Safety Corridor. Thank you. Greg Leo, Aurora, Oregon. The second email is from Gretchen Brown. Dear Marion County Commissioners, I respectfully request that the proposed Elin-Jurgen-Mckay Road segment be designated as a safety corridor. Because I frequently drive to St. Paul to visit family members, attend meetings, or maintain my property there, I am very aware of the hazards on that stretch of road. Please designate the proposed Elin-Jurgen-Mckay Road segment a safety corridor. I would be happy to make that left turn onto French Prairie Road without wondering if I'm going to be hit from behind or head on. Thank you for your consideration, Gretchen. And we have two individuals here this morning. The first one is Mr. Nelson Vieira, and if you would join us over here at this microphone, that would be great.
My understanding, you were also taking notes on the removal of the dam on View Creek.
Public comment is for you to share any of your thoughts with us at any time.
I'm here to request that you
Can you give us your, I'm sorry, can you give us your name and city of residence?
My name is Nelson Vieira. I'm a resident of Scotts Mills, Oregon. I live along View Creek. I have quite a bit of property along the creek. I live on the Clackamas County side, but the creek is the border between both counties. I'm here to get the dam, the partial dam that's left, removed. It is a danger to navigation. It is a danger to the fish population. And now that with all the wildfires, Marion County will be using that park more. Children play there. There's rebar exposed all along there from where the cement has been taken away with time and destruction by the creek. It is bad for the steelhead. I've been there 40 years and watched the steelhead count constantly fall. I was a member, founding members of the Pudding River Watershed Council, and for years we've tried to get this removed. We have got the funding. It doesn't cost the county anything for you to allow this to happen. And I think it would be best for everything and everybody in the future to have this unsightly pieces of cement removed from that so that the steelhead, the native steelhead, can have better spawning areas because it causes more pressure for them to get over the falls. The fish ladder there is not a fish ladder, it's actually the water weir that used to be releasing the water from PGE's dam. And the fish do use it, but it's in the wrong place for them to find. So they still constantly need to go over the falls to get up above to the spawning beds, which is 10 miles of spawning beds up there. And I used to see 13 pairs in my holes, and now I'm lucky to see one each year, nesting and laying eggs. And I feel that now that with all the fires and stuff, we have a chance to improve our area better today instead of later on. And This should be removed for safety for people, navigation, and the fish.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I just want to know, do we want to?
There's another person.
I know, but I was worried about the table, the cleaning, sorry. Just 1 second. Okay.
Katrina, I just want to commend you for your service. You both are taking care of this county-wide COVID response and the specific response here.
All right, and we have another member in the audience, Mrs. Susan Daly.
Good morning, I'm Susan Daly. I'm a resident of Scotts Mills. I have been for over 40 years. In that time, I've enjoyed the area quite immensely, and I've seen changes, both good and bad. We would very much appreciate your thoughtful consideration in allowing us to demolish the remainder of the dam that is up there for the same reasons Mr. Vieira mentioned to you, and also the county has put a lot of time and effort into refurbishing the county park, which serves a great deal of residents in the area, and due to the wildfires, there are indeed going to be a lot of parks closed indefinitely, and Scotts Mills is one that will remain open. We get a lot of traffic up there during the summer and springtime. It would be a lot safer for the population that does come up and enjoy the area, and we would most certainly appreciate an opportunity for the fish to migrate more easily than they have with the conditions right now. Thank you so very much for your consideration.
Thank you for coming down. We have 2 more emails that I just received for public comment. This is from Mr. Ben Williams, Friends of French Prairie. Friends of French Prairie has sponsored a traffic safety agenda for French Prairie for some years with the goal of improving safety and reducing accidents and fatalities. We strongly support action by the Marion County Commissioners to establish a traffic safety corridor on the Mckay, Jurgen, Elan roads, the connector from I-5 to Highway 219. There have been many deadly accidents on this highway caused by speed, poor sightlines, and inattention at intersections. This action by the Commissioners will make this dangerous stretch of road safer. Please vote yes on the Elan Road Traffic Safety Corridor. Sincerely, Ben Williams. And the 4th and final email is from Kim Wallace. Good morning. Today you have the opportunity to create Marion County's first and only safety corridor under the pilot program created by House Bill 3213, the 2019 legislative session. Marion County Engineer Brian Nicholas has recommended that the corridor be established on the Elan-Jurgen-Mckay Road segment connecting the I-5 Elan Road intersection and Highway 219 River Road. The stretch of highway has a bad history of traffic issues, including speeding and 11 recent fatalities. Marion County and ODOT have been working diligently to address those issues, and we have seen a dramatic improvement. Adding the safety corridor designation will improve traffic safety on this stretch of roadway and the surrounding roads in French Prairie. Given the upcoming I-5 Elan Road interchange improvements by ODOT and additional plan development in Donald, the amount of traffic on this roadway is bound to increase, and improving safety is paramount. Please vote to approve the creation of this safety corridor. Regards, Kim Wallace, St. Paul, Oregon. And that concludes public comment. Okay, it looks like we have our very first presentation of the day is Ms. Katrina Rothenberger from our health department in regards to COVID-19.
Good morning, Katrina Rothenberger. I'm the Public Health Division Director for Marion County Health and Human Services. As of today, February 3rd, we have 17,424 cases of COVID since the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020. We're currently monitoring 25 Marion County residents in the hospital with COVID, and 264 people have died. In total, there are 36 individuals hospitalized with COVID in Region 2, which was down from 50 last week. COVID-19 cases have been decreasing in Marion County and in the state recently, and there was a 16% decrease in cases in the county over the last 2-week period compared to the previous 2-week period. The percent positive tests are higher in Marion County than in Oregon, 9.4% versus 5.9% respectively, and that's since the beginning of the pandemic. And most of our cases are still coming from the Woodburn, Kaiser, Central Salem, and Northeast Salem Brook zip codes. A question I've been getting a lot lately is, are our cases down just because testing is down? And our testing in Marion County has fluctuated between 8,800 tests and just under 10,000 tests per week throughout the month of January. We have also seen a decrease not only in cases, but hospitalizations and deaths, and that alone could attributed to a decrease in testing. We actually saw an increase in testing in the middle of January, January 10th through January 16th, when we reached almost 10,000 tests. So testing is fluctuating a little bit between 8,800 and just under 10,000 tests per week. To date, 353,000 Oregonians have received the vaccine. 51,000 of those individuals are in Marion County, and we're estimating that about 43,000 of those are in Phase 1A, and 7,300 are in Phase 1B, which includes the child care providers, early learning, and K through 12 educators and staff. We're anticipating that another vaccine may receive emergency use authorization, which is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So hopefully by the end of the month, we should see another vaccine on the market in the United States, which would be great. According to the OHA sequencing plan, seniors will begin receiving vaccinations beginning February 8th. Followed by the ages 75 and over on February 15th, 70 and over February 22nd, and 65 and over on March 1st. In order to immunize more than 7 in 10 seniors, the state estimates that this may take through between now and mid-April, based on vaccine supply and the number of seniors in our community. In Oregon, there's about 750,000 people over the age of 65, and about 100,000 of those in Oregon have already received the vaccine. In Marion County, there's about 56,000 people over the age of 65. Governor Brown's Vaccine Advisory Committee has submitted their recommendations for who should be eligible for the vaccine after seniors. That recommendation goes to the governor's office, and then we anticipate a final decision on what that sequencing plan will look like, so we can start planning ahead. However, with the anticipation that it will take us through mid-April to immunize people over the age of 65, we have a little bit of time for planning, but our team has already started reaching out to all sorts of community partners in order to get the vaccine available when the time comes. The Fred Meyer Pharmacy has also been approved as a COVID-19 enrolled provider, so they are able to administer shots as well. So as more providers get enrolled with the state, that just increases the number of places that people are able to receive those vaccines. However, it is all based on supply. Another question we've been getting a lot recently is, if I already had COVID-19 and recovered, do I still need to get the vaccine when it is available? And the answer is yes. However, there are some studies that are suggesting that these folks may only need 1 shot. However, the current recommendation is the 2-shot series for Pfizer and Moderna. If people have recently recovered from COVID-19 and it is their turn to receive a shot, they should probably call their doctor, because there are some concerns with people who've recently recovered from COVID having more, not severe side effects, but more than mild, not feeling great. So if you've recently recovered from COVID-19 and want to get the shot, please call your doctor first to make sure it's okay. We've been working closely with the University of Oregon throughout the pandemic, and we're excited that they will be offering testing in Marion County, in Woodburn, Jervis, Jefferson, and Salem. The information will be on our website, and the first clinic will be on Saturday, February 6th. So please check our website out for more details, and we'll continue to post the latest information on our website, social media channels, through community partners and the media. Thank you.
Thank you. You have any questions for Katrina?
No, just a comment. I think we're over 15% of our population here in Marion County vaccinated, right? So that's a big achievement. Thank you to you and our healthcare partners for making that happen so quickly.
And I just want to remind people, this is going to be I'm going to knock on this door for a bit. If you're 65 and older and you're looking to get that vaccine, please call your own provider right now and find out if it's the best idea. Because we know that when you get in line, it's going to take some time to get up to a provider, and they're going to have a lot of questions for you about underlying conditions and other medications that you may be taking. And I am hopeful that folks come into that opportunity of sound mind, of being safe to receive that vaccine on the spot with no issues post. So prepare yourself now, call your doctor, make the appointment, have the conversation ahead of time. Because I'd love to see us move through that approximately 60,000 seniors as soon as possible without any delay. And I think their help and accountability in that process would be really wonderful. Thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Katrina.
All right, now we're going to move on to the consent calendar.
Before we do, Madam Chair, Before we do, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to add an item to our agenda this morning.
Great.
Under the action agenda, under Board of Commissioners, consider approval of an order ratifying wildfire recovery payment to the city of Gates in the amount of $50,000 to assist with financial hardships as a result of the September 2020 wildfires.
I second the motion. And now I forget what I'm supposed to do.
We have a motion and a second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on it?
Well, yeah, actually, I think we should talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Commissioner and I went up to Gates on Friday after a number of meetings, I guess, last week about the need that was pressing in Gates to pay their bills. Essentially, the situation there is the majority of their town has been burned. They've lost over 100 homes. And the way that they're set up is water fees support most of their city services. So their tax base is very small. They only make a tiny bit of their budget based on property taxes. Most of their budget comes from water fees, and because so many homes burned up, they don't have as many people paying for water because they don't have a home anymore. And that's had a huge impact on their city, and it's had a huge impact on their ability to basically do the work of rebuilding. And we got word that they were looking at potentially not being able to pay their staff, and then that would only make the problem worse. And I think one of the things that has been difficult for us in this is FEMA and the state, when we first met with them in September, were telling us about these great programs they have for revenue loss and how they'll be there for the cities, but there's this capacity problem, as with any bureaucracy. They want to make sure that they're using the tax payer money well, and so there's a big process you have to go through to get this help. And the city of Gates, most of the people there lost their homes. Many of the people that are working for the city lost their homes, and they were putting their own recovery on hold to try to help their community. And they need help getting through that red tape. And so this is sort of like a down payment. We're still expecting the state and the feds to come up and support Gates and help them through this process. But we were sick and tired of waiting around for promises that now it's been 4 or 5 months and the cash just hadn't showed up. We had the money in our lottery budget that we could use, and so So we just went up there and we gave them a check, so at least they don't have to worry about being able to make payroll. So that's the situation. We're gonna help them make it through the short term, and then we're going to work on a plan with them so that they can be self-sustaining for the long term.
It's been a process. I'd like to add that our team upstairs learned less than 2 weeks ago of this financial immediacy for Gates, and Jan, I'm just going to shout out to Jan because I don't think she gets enough praise. We decided on Tuesday last week that we would dedicate $500,000 to the canyon through lottery funds and general fund dollars. The commissioners did. And Jan, who I think just probably doesn't sleep or her mind races regularly on how to expedite these processes because she's got the biggest heart in the county, said to us on Friday morning, let's just write the check today and we'll figure it out. So the commissioner said fine, and our finance department turned that check around in an hour, and then we were in the car heading up to the canyon to literally surprise the mayor and the city recorder because we had worked out some scenario where they thought we were coming up for additional questioning. And Tracy, who's the city recorder up there, who's been extremely overwhelmed and burdened by this process, almost singly, as the one kind of city employee, said to us, I'm finally going to sleep this weekend. And I don't know if anybody knows what this is like if you haven't been up there, but she's been living this chaos for almost 5 months, and her own property burned down. And I just want to say, Jan, that you're a hero to her and to all of us for making it happen. Government is not known for being expeditious in any concept. And I just really appreciate that you did that. So thanks for supporting us and for supporting them, but she needs to know that this was really you. So good job.
That's right. Good job, Dan.
So, and in full disclosure, this motion was supposed to come a little later, so now I'm a little confused.
So the motion that was made was to add it to the action item.
Right.
You could probably add it to consent now.
Okay.
And then approve it on the consent agenda, however you want to do it.
Do you want to modify your motion to add it to the consent so we can just get it done?
Okay, sure. Okay, so Madam Chair, I'll withdraw my initial motion and make a motion to add an item to our consent agenda under Board of Commissioners. Consider approval of an order ratifying a wildfire recovery payment to the City of Gates, which we just described, in the amount of $50,000 to assist with financial hardship as a result of the September 2020 wildfires.
I second that motion. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So now I'm like, I was prepped before this, is the exact line items to do this, and now I'm all discombobulated.
So now you want to adopt the consent agenda?
Okay. So now, do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adopt the consent agenda under Community Services. We have approve an order reappointing District Attorney Paige Clarkson and Sheriff Joe Cash to the Marion County Children and Families Commission with terms ending February 28th, 2025. Under Public Works, receive notice of hearings officer's recommendation and schedule a public hearing for February 17th, 2021 for comprehensive plan amendment zone change CPZC case number 20-005. Mark D. Stadelli, trustee of the Mark D. Stadelli Living Trust. And as I just mentioned, under Board of Commissioners, consider approval of an order ratifying a wildfire recovery payment to the City of Gates in the amount of $50,000 to assist with financial hardship as a result of the September 2020 wildfires.
I second the motion. Now I'm going to take a breath. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. And now we're going to move on to action items. And we do have one specific action item from Public Works. Mrs. Lanny Radke is going to join us.
Good morning.
Good morning. And while you're getting set up, we're going to be talking, listening to you in regards to considering approval of an order establishing Marion County Safety Corridor on the Mckay Road, Jurgen Road, and Elin Road pursuant to Section 21C of Chapter 501, Oregon Laws 2019. And before you dive into your presentation, I just want to mention that Representative Bill Post was the chief sponsor of this legislation, I believe in the 2019 session. He has been very vocal for some time about the challenges that this intersection poses. And I'm grateful for his leadership, moving us through this process, and also working with the state and the county to give us an opportunity to participate in this. So good job, Representative Post.
Yes, yes. And I am going to go into a little bit of background about what a safety corridor is. But first, for the record, I am Lonnie Radke, Public Works Engineering, the county engineer. Thanks for having me here today. Good morning. I would like to talk a little bit about what a safety corridor is first, to explain what we're looking at here. A safety corridor is a designation that is assigned to certain roads that have particularly high crash rates, and it allows agencies to collaborate maybe a little bit more than they would in the past. And we talk about the 4 E's of safety with safety corridors, which include engineering solutions, enforcement solutions, education, and emergency services. Safety corridor designation allows agencies to set priority areas, and that ODOT, I'm sure that everybody here and watching from home has seen the green signs around the state with safety corridor language. ODOT has been successful at reducing fatal and serious injury crashes within these safety corridors, but historically, this was only allowed on state highways. And then House Bill 3213 came along. Thanks to the representatives who worked on this. You mentioned Representative Post and Bossart Davis, Spranger and Smith were the chief sponsors, with co-sponsors being Representatives Barretto, Bonham, Findley, Helt, Leaf, Lewis, Noble, Reschke, Solomon, and Zika. So we wanted to put a thank you out there to everybody. This is a big deal for us to have the opportunity to participate in this pilot program that is now set up for counties to designate the safety corridors. And Marion County is the first county in the state to be approved as the first county safety corridor. So we're excited about that opportunity. But why? Why are we excited about a safety corridor? Well, obviously, maybe not obviously, the big goal is to reduce the fatal and serious injury crashes. It, again, gives us this opportunity, maybe more so than usual, because we're setting the priority through the departments to have that collaborative approach, which we've already started doing, and increase the awareness of this being an area to maybe be a little bit extra safe and careful. We have the additional signage as shown. We will have the additional signage as shown in the photo here. And we will be increasing traffic fines to motivate motorists to comply. So specifically, we are asking today for the approval, the board order, to designate the Mckay, Jurgen, Ellen corridor. It is approximately 7-mile section between Highway 219 and Interstate 5. It's generally 2 lanes wide. It's a rural area, a principal arterial, one of only 2 in the county, so it operates kind of like a highway. I think most people would think this was a highway when they drive it. And we have about 7,000 vehicles a day traveling in this corridor. We have a high crash rate. Crash rates include the number of crashes, the severity of crashes, as well as the volumes. And when you figure out, when you add it into this equation, you come up with a crash rate, and you can compare it to similar facilities throughout the state, throughout the area. And this is over twice that crash rate that we would expect on a similar facility. And there are fatalities and severe injuries that have been occurring. I appreciate all of the letters, the 4 letters that you received. We've definitely spoken with most of those people, and we are aware of the problems that are being experienced up there. The crash trends often are attributed, we're seeing excessive speeds, and we're seeing failure to stop and yield at intersections. And there is great public outcry, just as experienced in the letters and through different public meetings and a lot of communication. It's worth noting that even prior to the safety corridor designation, we have made a lot of engineering improvements, and I want to put a big thank you out to our operations and engineering staff at Public Works, who have been spending a lot of time with striping. We've got wider stripes out there now. We have centerline rumble strips to give the audible notice that you're about to cross over the center line. We have larger signs, more reflective signs. We've made some great improvements. Even just removing vegetation helped with visibility. We have added street lighting at these intersections and added reflectors on the guardrail. We've also had some great help in increasing enforcement through a series of different events, and so a huge shout out also to the Sheriff's Office, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and actually several other counties. I know that Yamhill County assisted, as well as Clackamas County, and I think I'm missing a few because I think there were 4 or 5 different agencies that were helping. So that was a great success, those events. We have more to come. Today we are with the designation in the form of the board order that we are requesting today. We will finally get the green signs up that say safety corridor, accompanied with white signs that say fines will double. We're planning these signs will be installed early next week, assuming the board order is approved today. And then just to give a little taste of other things to come in this corridor in the near future, we've got we're increasing our intersection illumination. That's been happening. We started with 1 at each intersection, but we've decided to bump it up to a little bit more to help with the visibility in the dark conditions. So we're waiting on PGE schedules, but that is coming. We have driver feedback signs that are on order and should be here soon. Those are the signs that read and display your speed, and they are found to be highly effective in the first 3 to 6 months at least with reducing speeds. So we are going to be putting 4 in this corridor, and we might move them around a little bit because it shows their effectiveness is higher in the first 6 months. We have an intersection conflict warning system coming, which is pictured here. This was an arts program grant that we were successful at getting. We're working through a design for this right now. It will include, it's similar to this picture, it's not exactly like this, but there will be red beacons at the stop signs that will be flashing 24/7 at Ellen and Butteville. And there will be beacons, amber beacons for the traffic on Ellen to notify them when vehicles are approaching or stopped at the stop sign on Butteville. And then we have a couple of other intersections that would be getting flashing red beacons on stop signs. We have other plans and hopes of where we want to go, and we've been applying for more funding. We've applied for arts grants through the state All Roads Transportation Safety Program for more improvements for the whole corridor, as well as adding left turn lanes at French Prairie and Mckay. And we're waiting to hear if we're successful with those. The next steps really are starting today with getting the board order approved so we can designate it and get those signs up next week. I've been working with Jolene, Kelly, and the board's office for the press release that will be coming out hopefully this week in advance of the signs being in place. And we talk to the Sheriff's Office fairly regularly, and unfortunately amidst COVID we haven't been having our monthly meetings as much as we'd like, so we need to bring that back, and I've had a couple of conversations about this, and we'll be talking with Sergeant Don Parise hopefully here in the next couple of days to really see what kind of enforcement efforts we can start with next week. And we have another technical advisory committee coming next week, which Sergeant Don Parise is also, from our Sheriff's Office, is also active in. So he will be there, and we're starting another stakeholder group where we will invite people like Kim Wallace and Greg Leo, as well as Ben Williams from the Friends of French Prairie that submitted the letters of support. Longer term next steps, we do have, we'll be continuing to watch this corridor for crashes. We do that in a couple of our other areas. Well, we're constantly watching where crashes, especially the fatal and the serious injury crashes, are taking place, and especially in the areas where we've seen some trends or frequent crashes. So we'll be watching this very closely. We will be providing updates, I'd say at least annually, just so that you're seeing how the program is working. And then based on ORS requirements with House Bill 3213, we are required to submit 2 reports in 2022 and 2024. And then this is kind of a tough one to discuss, but it is expected that the crash rates will come down, and when they do, we have to decommission the safety corridor and the signs will actually come down. So it's surprising to some people. That's why I like to make sure that it's out there, the expectations are managed. It is intended to be a temporary treatment because those crashes are hopefully going to come down, and that's definitely what ODOT has seen. They've seen the crash rates come down, so they were able to remove the safety corridor signs after approximately 5 years. So that wraps it up. I know we've talked about it a lot, and this board order was something that I should have had in front of you sooner, and I didn't realize it. So right now we're just asking for the formality of please approve the board order so that we can move ahead with the signs.
So I do have one question, but before I ask the question, I really appreciate the thoroughness on this. I mean, I know you've come to the board before I became a commissioner, and I have participated as a citizen in those conversations to learn about it. Of course, there's been a lot of press around it. So I think for folks that are paying attention, this won't be news. But can you talk a little bit about, in 5 years, ODOT numbers are fantastic and we remove it. Is there been an ODOT study for the other safety corridors that have gone through that, or I don't know, maybe this 5-year rule is new, that speaks to the fact that it doesn't go back to becoming a burden or unsafe space?
That's an excellent question, because the decommissioning it's a strange, this is a safety problem. Why would we remove something that's improved? I think the goal is we're also doing these other improvements along the way, and so removing the signs and the priority area maybe isn't. We've addressed it as a priority, and hopefully we've made these other improvements that will stay there. We're not removing the larger signs and the wider striping and the intersection conflict warning system. The safety corridor designation would be what would be lifted if we drop, I believe it's something like 15% of crashes.
15?
Or 15% below, maybe it's 15% below the average. I need to look into that.
Okay.
I have talked to ODOT about their experience, and they said that so far their safety corridors have passed that criteria and have not been a problem afterward, but I don't know how closely they've studied after. I can definitely get that information for you.
Thank you. I'd be interested in knowing
Yeah.
in case we need to create a process to maintain that safety corridor, because it's been the topic of my life for like years, that space up there. And actually, when I became a driver, my mom said, "You're not allowed to drive on that road."
Yeah.
So, it matters. Commissioner Willis?
I have a couple comments. First, I think I just want to sort of walk through our process here. The bottom line, I know most people who live up there know, is we have a lot of people from Clackamas County and Yamhill County that drive through Marion County, and because oftentimes Wilsonville can be a parking lot, they use the rural roads, and this corridor in particular has become a very high traffic area. And when we started trying to tackle this a couple of years ago, I think, we ran into this roadblock, which was we actually couldn't do some of these fixes without ODOT approval, and we couldn't designate it a safety corridor ourselves, which we thought was kind of crazy if we have data. And something that was sort of a surprise to me is, as a commissioner, oftentimes we'll get text messages when people die in bad car accidents in Marion County, and it was really a burden to me to have all these messages of people dying in these bad crashes up there. And so it really became a pressing issue, really important for us to fix this, and it was very frustrating that we couldn't because of this weird statutory problem. So I'm very grateful to Representative Post and the other representative senators for getting this law changed. And I'm also grateful for Commissioner Brentano, who fought really hard for this. I know this is a priority for him over the last several years. And so it really is a success, I think, of the whole team and trying to make those people safe. It's also true that we've done a ton of work before we got this designation. And in particular, one of the things we did was we asked the sheriff's office to start doing patrols up there, heavy saturation patrols on speeding. And it was sort of shocking to me. You know, the first month they were clocking people over 100 miles an hour driving on that corridor, a lot of them, you know, and they would write like 100 tickets, 90 tickets. And each month that they were out there in saturation patrols, the speeds would come down. We'd see people going slower, driving more safely, and the crashes came down. So I'm very grateful for their work before we got this designation. And so I guess that sort of leads me to my question. In talking to Commissioner Brentano, we had talked about speed limit on the corridor. Have you guys considered bringing the speed limit down, and where are we in that conversation?
Yeah, it is one of the next things to consider. We do have to work with the state on any speed limit changes that are outside of rural residence districts, and so we can request it, and the process is taking several months, maybe close to a year. We can ask to prioritize it now that it will be designated as a safety corridor, but there's no guarantee on that. But we can definitely, that's one of the things that we will be working on is evaluating, is doing our own speed study and then requesting the state do it based on our recommendations.
Okay, thank you. I just want you to know that I would like the speed limit to come down there. I think that would make that place safer and help the neighbors up there to feel safer as well. It's a deceptive road, you know. I mean, it's a beautiful road. It has these nice rolling hills, and I've found even when I drive it, your car just sort of keeps going faster and faster and faster, and you almost don't notice it until you look at your speedometer. So I think bringing that speed limit down would really help keep people safe up there.
And the safety corridor signage itself too will hopefully be a good reminder, because I believe there will be 6 or 7 in each direction, and they will be with that fines double sign. So it will be a good reminder to maybe just even look down and check how fast you're going. And as I mentioned, the driver feedback signs that we will be putting 2 in each direction, and we might be moving them around a little bit just to keep people paying attention. Those are found to be effective at slowing people down.
Don't give up on that speed limit thing, though.
What's that?
Don't give up on that speed limit thing.
No, we won't, but
Okay.
I want you to know there's other things as well.
Thank you.
And speed studies are based on the data that you collect on how fast motorists are traveling. So it is a little bit, we'll see what the data comes out with.
Well, and this is to Commissioner Bethel's statement earlier. It's sort of a concern to me, and this happens all the time in state programs, where when you are successful, you lose resources, right? And this is another one with decommissioning after 5 years. If we do all this work and people are driving really safe, then they're going to take away the resources and the tools that we use to get successful. And sort of similar thing here. We've worked really hard over the last year with the saturation patrols to teach people to drive slower, and now it's potential that, you know, the data is going to say, well, people aren't driving that fast. And it's like, well, we're not driving that fast because we put the screws to them. So I hope that we could look back at the historical data and bring that into our analysis.
And again, the decommissioning, the safety corridor signage would come down, and the ability to double the fines. But if we're hopefully finding other treatments to lower speeds, then maybe we'll find success that can stay beyond the 5 years and the decommissioning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion?
Sure is. Madam Chair, I move that we approve an order establishing a Marion County Safety Corridor on Mckay Road, Jurgen Road, and Ellen Road, depending on who you talk to, pursuant to Section 2(1)C of Chapter 501, Oregon Laws, 2019.
I second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
and making that
Thank
presentation.
you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Lonnie.
All right. What's the public hearings thing on here? This is 9:30. Oh, we don't have any public hearings. Okay. All right, so I think the last thing on our agenda is the reading of the calendar. And you better believe that I'm going to have Commissioner Willis read it today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Be a pleasure. Today is February 3rd. It's 9 o'clock, and we just completed our board session in the Senator hearing room on the first floor of 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. At 11 o'clock today, February 3rd, we have a Board of Commissioners policy meeting located in the Commissioners boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Again, that's 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. At noon today, February 3rd, we have a Woodburn-Marion County meeting, and that's a virtual meeting. And then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, February 3rd, we have a Service District semi-annual regular meeting located in the Commissioners boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then at 4 o'clock today, February 3rd, we have a FEMA briefing for local officials, and that's a virtual meeting. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 4th, at 1 in the afternoon, we have a Health and Human Services policy meeting located in the Commissioners boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then tomorrow, Thursday, February 4th, at 1:30 in the afternoon, we have a community partner vaccine call located in the Commissioners boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then tomorrow, Thursday, February 4th, at 3 in the afternoon, we have, it says we have a Service District semi-annual regular meeting, but that would be surprising if we have that 2 days in a row. Let me look at my calendar real quick and just double check that. Oh, there's a part 1 and part 2. Oh,
Right,
wow.
there's 3 that we're going through.
Oof, holy moly. Okay.
We're going to learn a lot.
So we're going to have another Service District semi-annual regular meeting tomorrow, Thursday, February 4th at 3 in the afternoon, located in the Commissioner's boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then Friday, February 5th at 11 in the morning, we have an Association of Oregon Counties weekly COVID-19 conference call, and that's a virtual call. And then on Monday, February 8th at 9:30 in the morning, we have calendar review located in the Commissioner's boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Again, that's 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And then on Monday, February 8th at 12:30 in the afternoon, we have an Association of Oregon Counties Legislative Committee meeting, and that's a virtual meeting. And then on Monday, February 8th at 2 in the afternoon, we have an Association of Oregon Counties Board of Directors meeting, and that's also a virtual meeting. And then I got a few more. And then on Tuesday, February 9th at 9:30 in the morning, we have management update located in the Commissioner's boardroom. That's the 5th floor of this building. And then on Tuesday, February 9th at 2 in the afternoon, we have a Health and Human Services Policy Group meeting located in the Commissioner's boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Wednesday, February 10th at 9 in the morning, we have board session in this room, the Senator hearing room. And that, again, that's the first floor of 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And then Wednesday, February 10th at 11 in the morning, we have a Board of Commissioners policy meeting located in the Commissioner's boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then February 10th, that's Wednesday again, at 4 in the afternoon, we have a FEMA briefing for local officials.
Whew, we're
There you
busy.
go.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Thank you.
Well, I just have to say that it was exciting to chair this meeting
Yeah,
today.
congratulations. You did great.
Do I have to make a motion to accept the
You did
calendar?
great.
Just checking. I don't know.
There's no way to do it but just to jump in, you know?
I agree. Well, and I think it just shows, I don't know all the things. It's a process. And what I noticed is that I'm on a different board, and we do it very differently.
Sure.
The processes obviously are all legal, but we do them in different orders and different, so.
Takes some getting used to, but at the end of the day, it's just another human process.
That's for sure.
Representing the people of Marion County. I'm excited about this safety corridor. This is something that we've been working on for a long time, and it's needed for that community. So I know, based on the public comment we got this morning, you can tell people are happy to see it up there,
Yeah. Well, I think it's really important. Like I said, my mom, when I was 16, was like, don't go up there. Don't drive on that road. There was a few roads, actually, I wasn't allowed to drive on. Highway 58 down south of Eugene is also one of them, known as one of the most dangerous highways in Oregon. And I ski and now snowboard. And Willamette Pass is on Highway 58, and so I always wanted to go down there, and she was like, nope. So I quickly learned about hoodoo. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then we're going to adjourn the meeting. Do I have to do this?
Yep.
Yay! All right.
Music from